Peace had returned to Nula, but it was a delicate peace, like morning dew on a sword's edge. Queen Salama, young but battle-hardened, ruled with wisdom carved from grief and flame. Her coronation was attended by thousands of former enemies. Now, kneeling before her, she wore no gold, only white robes and a simple flame-shaped pendant passed down from Queen Amana. Ekon, once her rival, now served as her general, humbled and devoted to redemption. "Let my hands build what they once sought to burn," he told her. Salama's first decree was to dismantle the war camps and rebuild the villages burned during the uprising. The second was more controversial. She dissolved the Royal Nobility Council and replaced it with a People's Circle, made up of village elders, warriors, priests, women, and youth. "Let every voice matter," she said, "not just those born." With silk in their mouths, some nobles fumed in secret, their power dimmed by her light. One of them, Lord Dacre of the Western Frontier, refused to swear loyalty at the Circle's first meeting. "We bow to kings," he said. "We will not kneel to a girl who tosses tradition like old sandals." Salama responded not with force, but with grain, tools, and medicine for his starving people. The gesture quieted him for a time. Meanwhile, distant travelers brought troubling tales from the western sands. A new power had risen beyond the Great Red Dunes. A warlord named Makuru, the Hornless Bull. He had united 5 desert tribes with blood and fear, carving a path eastward. He claims the gods have given him the right to conquer all lands where the sun sleeps, a messenger warned. Salama summoned her advisors, General Ekon, High Priestess Shala, and Count Sulla Obi, head of diplomacy. "If he seeks us, we must prepare," Salama said, "but we do not swing first. Let the wind reveal his path." Ekon agreed, but began drilling the army nonetheless. Word of Nula's reforms began spreading. Peasants from other lands came seeking peace and work. The capital city of Nyalara blossomed with new trade routes, schools, and forges. Children learned reading and healing alongside spear drills and war songs. But within the city, hidden cells of the old Blackhorn still stirred. Zilu, once Ekon's closest friend, now ran a gambling ring disguised as a fishers' guild. In truth, he was rebuilding the fallen faction quietly, cleverly, one coin at a time. "Every peace weakens," Zilu said. "And when it cracks, I will be ready." Lord Dacre sent secret letters to Zilu, asking for help in reclaiming true order. Salama, unaware, turned her attention to the coastal villages, where fishermen reported strange ships with black sails. She dispatched scouts. Only one returned, babbling of red-eyed warriors and chants of burning moons. The western threat had arrived. Makuru was closer than they thought. In her chambers, Salama burned incense and prayed to her ancestors. "You carried me through the fires of brotherhood and blood. Give me strength for what comes next." That night, she dreamt of a bird with golden wings flying into a storm. In the morning, she sent envoys to Makuru, offering peace talks. Makuru replied by sending back the envoy's tongue wrapped in palm leaves. It was war. Salama called an emergency gathering of the People's Circle. "We are a people reborn from ash," she said. "We will not be buried beneath it again." Ekon stood beside her, armor gleaming. "Let the Hornless Bull meet the flame." Across the land, banners were raised and drums echoed across rivers and plains. But the true enemy was not only at the border, it was within. Zilu's Blackhorn rebels struck military supply lines disguised as bandits. Lord Dacre's guards intercepted weapons meant for the Queen's army. Then, the unthinkable, a fire in the palace stables, and a failed assassination attempt on Salama herself. She survived, blade in hand, slaying her masked attacker in the moonlight. The People's Circle demanded answers, and Salama vowed to uncover the traitors. The battle ahead may be on 2 fronts, she told her generals, one seen, and one in shadows. And so, as the Hornless Bull marched closer, Queen Salama prepared to fight war from within and without. The horizon burned red as Makuru's army reached the western gates of Nula's outer territories. His warriors rode beasts unknown to the plains, hyena-like creatures with bone armor and blood-dyed fur. Behind him came siege machines carved from iron, wood, and bone, powered by desert fire and hatred. His war priests chanted in tongues lost too. Nula's ancestors, summoning fear into the hearts of villagers. Queen Salama rode west with Ekon and the Ember Guard, leaving Nylara in the care of priestess Shala and the People's Circle. As they marched, they passed burned villages and terrified survivors, some branded with the mark of a hornless bull. He makes war not for conquest, Salama said bitterly. He makes war to erase. Ekon, now calmer and wiser, said, then we become memory's fire. Scouts reported that Makuru's army had split, half marching toward the river Nula, half sweeping around to encircle from the south. Salama made a bold choice: divide her forces. Ekon would lead the north flank, she would confront the southern. Sweep, the Ember Guard split in two, sworn to protect each sibling with their lives. Meanwhile, back in the capital, Lord Daka met with Zilu in a secret chamber beneath the ruins of a collapsed temple. It is time, Daka said. Will they? Fight out there, we take the heart. Zilu had been waiting for this moment. The throne will fall not by fire but by the rod it ignored. As Queen Salama's forces reached the southern plains, they clashed with Makuru's vanguard under a moonless sky. The enemy moved like whispers, slashing and vanishing, guided by desert wines and dark rituals. But Salama countered with her Ember Guard's disciplined flanks and local farmers who had been trained secretly. Every woman with a torch, she declared, is a soldier of light. The first battle ended in Nulan victory, but at a cost. Many Ember soldiers perished, and one of Salama's advisors was mortally wounded. Before he died, he whispered, there is treachery ... within the palace ... double quotes. Salama's heart froze. She knew what she had to do. She sent a hawk with a sealed message to priestess Shala, investigate the council. Someone is feeding the enemy. Back in the capital, Shala began watching the nobles more closely. She noticed that Lord Daka often disappeared before rebel raids claiming estate business. Secretly, she followed him one evening, disguised as a market beggar. She watched him vanish into a wine cellar and emerge from another building, on the far side of the city, carrying scrolls with rebel symbols. She returned and summoned the Queen's loyalists to prepare for his arrest. But Lord Daka struck first. He released prisoners from the eastern dungeons and set fire to the Temple of Silence. Zilu and the Black Horn stormed the People's Circle, cutting down two of the Queen's appointed councillors. Chaos spread through Nylara like wildfire. Citizens fled, markets closed, and soldiers loyal to the Queen were ambushed in alleys. But Priestess Shala was not finished. She rang the great bell of Nula, summoning every loyal citizen and guard to the palace square. The Queen fights at the edge of the world, she declared. Will we let traitors burn her name while she bleeds for us? People rallied. Farmers, smiths, young apprentices, even old warriors of Zundara and Arok returned to defend the city. Meanwhile, Ekon's northern flank met Makuru's brute force on the banks of the river Nula. The hornless bull himself appeared towering, muscle-bound, draped in lion skins and crocodile bones. I see the Prince of Ashes, he growled at Ekon. Do you kneel, or do you burn? Ekon answered with steel lunging forward and locking blades with the beast man. The battle was thunder and lightning, spears shattered, men fell, and blood dyed the river. Ekon drove his blade into Makuru's side, but the warlord laughed and slammed him into the mud. Before Makuru could finish him, a roar echoed. The Ember Guard had arrived, raining arrows from the trees. Makuru retreated, wounded but alive, vowing to return with the full fury of the western tribes. Salama, hearing of the attack on the capital, broke her southern campaign short and rode back through the night. Her horse collapsed before dawn, and she ran the rest of the way into Nylara, blistered and bleeding. She arrived as the palace burned, but the people stood firm, rallying under Priestess Shala's banner. Salama joined the battle barefoot and bloodstained, leading a counter-attack into the rebels' final stronghold. In the courtyard, she faced Zilu, once her brother's friend, now a self-proclaimed savior. You gave Nula fire, he spat, and now it burns everything. Then I will be the rain, she answered, and struck him down in a single blow. With Zilu's death, the Black Horn crumbled. Lord Daka was captured and brought before the people. Salama declared his punishment not death, but exile. Let him live to see the kingdom he failed to destroy. The fires in Nylara smouldered for 3 days before they were fully put out. Ash covered the market stones, but above them flew a new banner once stitched by the widows of fallen warriors. It showed a phoenix rising from two broken crowns. Queen Salama stood in the palace ruins, wrapped in a simple linen cloth, her crown gone melted during the battle. "Let no crown weigh heavier than the love for your people," she said, and left her head bare. She called for a mourning feast not of silence, but of songs and stories for the dead. The people wept and danced, grieving and healing together as one. Makuru, meanwhile, had returned to the western dunes, seething from his wound. His war priests tried to bless his blooded chest, but he struck them down. "They are not guards." He growled, "I am the guard now." But his army, shaken by their defeat at Nyol,